Number 22. For the linear function f, the table shows 3 values of x and their corresponding values of f of x. If h of x equals f of x minus 13, which equation defines h? So anytime we have a function, we have an input and an output. X is our input, f of x or h of x, whatever it is, of x is our output. So it's saying we plug a number in, like let's say if it was 3x minus 2 equals f of x. The numbers you plug them in for x, you do this math, the number you get is your output, f of x. So that's what is represented in this chart. We have these x's and we have f of x. Now this particular problem that we have here, we are given two functions. We have f of x and we have h of x. So for f of x, that's this table. H of x is this minus 13. Now there's two ways we can go about it. We can either figure out what the equation of f of x would be, and then plug it in here, subtract 13, combine any like terms if there are, and see which of these we get. We also can change this table to represent h of x. So I'm going to show you both ways. All right, to figure out what f of x is, this is a linear function. It's a line, so it will be able to be put in the formula, the equation y equals mx plus b, where m is our slope and b is our y-intercept. So slope is rise over run, or change in y over change in x. So, all right, so I have 2 points. I'm going to just pick these first two. The change in y, -4, 0, and -19 fifths and 1, and -19 fifths. I'm going to change that into a fraction form just for my own purposes. That's -3 and 4 fifths. I think it makes the next step just a little easier for my mind. Another thing you could do is you could have changed this into fifths. It's another way you can do that. Or you just put it in your calculator, whatever you like. So change in y, I'm going to start with this one and then go to this one. It doesn't matter which one I start with. So I'm going to have 0, that y, minus this y of 1. And then on the bottom, change in x, -4 minus -3 and 4 fifths. So minus a negative is the same as plus a positive. So on top, 0 minus 1 is -1. And on the bottom, -4 plus a positive 3 and 4 fifths would just leave a single -1/5. So -1 divided by -1/5. Those negatives cancel out. So those are gone. 1 divided by 1/5. How many 1/5ths are there in 1? 5. So my slope is 5. All right, so now I know in my original equation up here that my slope is 5. Now I need to know what my b is, so I plug in any of these points over here on the left. I'm going to use that top one again, so that my f of x, or y and f of x here are interchangeable for the purposes of this problem. So that y or f of x is 0. Then I have 5 times my x, which is -4. And we still have that b. I'm just plugging in the y or f of x, the x, and I'm going to solve for that b. So 0 equals 5 times -4, -20 plus b. Then to solve for b, I add 20 to both sides. And we get that b is equal to 20. So my final equation is going to be y or f of x equals 5x plus 20. There we go. So yeah, because I'm using these back and forth because if you look in your book, it's going to say y equals mx plus b. Y and f of x are going to be essentially equivalent for this problem. So f of x equals 5x plus 20. Now I know that h of x is equal to f of x minus 13. Now I know that f of x is this. I can plug it in right there. And that would be 5x plus 20, minus 13. There's not anything weird going on the outside of this 5x plus 20. There's not a negative on the outside of it. There's not like a negative up here. There's not a number in front that needs to be distributed. So I can just get rid of these parentheses. So 5x plus 20 minus 13, I can combine these like terms, and I get that h of x is equal to 5x. 20 minus 13 is 7. H of x equals 5x plus 7. All right. You also could even say, honestly, at this point right here, since it's minus 13, if you understand, or if you've studied, which I highly recommend you do, I have videos on this kind of thing about transforming functions. If you understood that minus 13 would bring it down 13, you go, oh, here the y-intercept is 20. If it goes down 13, the y-intercept would be 7, so it's 5x plus 7. If that didn't ring any bells, then I highly recommend looking into or doing a little bit about translating functions, because it's not needed for this particular problem necessarily. You can use it, but it's not absolutely necessary. However, there are problems on the SAT where it is necessary. So just a little SAT public service announcement. Okay, so what if we did it the other way I said, which is where we change the table? Well, for that, we want to say x and h of x. And I know that my x values are -4, -19 and -18 fifths. And it says that h of x is equal to f of x minus 13. So I just need to take all these values and subtract 13 from each one. 0 minus 13 is -13. 1 minus 13 is -12. And 2 minus 13 is -11. Now I do the same exact thing that I did before to find the equation for this function. I need to find the slope, then I need to find the y-intercept. Slope is change in y over change in x. I'm going to use those top two again, and this time I'm going to start with this and go this way, by which I mean I have my two ordered pairs, -4 and -13, and -3 and 4 fifths. I'm changing it again, and -12. And instead of saying, you know, this minus those, I'm going to do this minus these. This one minus these, because it does not matter. It's the same. So -12 minus a -13. There's my y's on the top. And -3 and 4 fifths minus a -4. 12 minus a negative or plus a positive 13 gives me a positive 1 on the top. -3 and 4 fifths plus a positive, the same as minus a -4, gives me a positive 1/5 on the bottom. Here we are again, same sort of thing. 1 divided by 1/5. 1/5 goes into 1 5 times. So now we're at a very similar place that we were before, but instead of f of x, this time it's h of x equals 5x plus b. And to solve for b, I can pick any point. I'm going to pick this first one here again. I get that h of x equals 5x plus b. I know that my x is -4 and my h of x is -13. So -13 equals 5 times -4 is -20 plus b. To solve for this, I add 20 to both sides. -13 plus 20 is 7. 7 is my b. And all right, now I can plug that in. 5x plus 7. This isn't a thing that I can think of as I don't think you can use a graphing calculator to easily solve this. I think this is definitely one you're going to have to use some of these techniques. But yeah, there's multiple ways you can do it. All are valid. Just do whatever makes the most sense to you.
Hey guys, the full insanely comprehensive SAT math prep course I've been promising for so long is live right now at mathwithalyssa.com. And of course, you can also still get the free 10 video course on SAT tips and tricks at mathwithalyssa.com as well. You also can now book one-on-one tutoring sessions with me. Links to how you can do that are in the description and the pinned comment below. And as always, if the video you just watched was helpful or useful in any way, please let YouTube know. Comment, like, share, subscribe. You know the drill. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later. Bye.